Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Truth Show. I am your host today, coming to you with the truth of the matter about the situation of what's really going on in the world. And when I say the truth, I mean it is my truth, it is my beliefs, and my freedom of speech. Which, you know what, everybody has their own freedom of speech. Yours is yours, mine is mine, as long as we all try to see eye to eye on what's really right, what is really godly, what is really real. Okay, so now we have COVID. COVID 19 started before the riots, before the George Floyd situation of the protests, and everybody, all of us African Americans and Caucasians and people all over the world, every nationality, fighting for justice, for racism to stop. And the reason we are protesting and everybody Black Lives Matter is because of the fact that Black lives really matter. Black lives matter because if anyone else was in a serious situation and only a black person was around, it was perhaps maybe an accident or someone was dying and needed CPR, and one black person was around. Wouldn't that life matter at that time to save a Caucasian person or to save any other nationality? Yes, that life would have mattered. And the reason it would have mattered because it would have saved another life of another human being. Move race out of the way. Yes, Black Lives Matter. And the reason people say Black Lives Matter is because it didn't matter to Caucasian people because of the fact that if it did, everything would be equal. Black people would have had the same job opportunity. There would not have ever been signs saying Negroes over here and whites over there. Everything was divided as if black people were animals. So no, I applaud us black people because of the fact that most of us were not raised to be prejudiced. And I applaud us for walking with our heads high no matter what happened to our ancestors back in the day. And I do believe that those ancestors' energies and vibes and antennas have resurfaced to the world to bring all of this justice to the forefront. I really do. I really feel that the ancestors and all the slaves that have been hung, killed, the women that have been raped, I feel like all of those ancestors that have been mistreated are now sending their energies out to make it either get right or bring all of us home with them. I really do. Because I feel that when that happened to them in slavery days, they're better off than how black people are being mistreated on this earth. And I feel that now is the time for them to come up with their energies from their graves, circulate throughout the world, put all that energy out there and get this stuff right. Really. And the reason I'm saying that is because it has to get right. And the reason I'm saying that is because there are mixed children out here who have white parents. Do you think they want the cops or all the racist people to hurt their children? And they're Caucasian. But that's their children. Their children are black. Okay? So this is why when people saw all the rioting going on and everything, and all different nationalities, those people had black people in their family. A lot of them did, and a lot of them didn't. A lot of them just tired of packing the weight of trying to be like their other friends or their other relatives that were prejudiced. They are tired of packing that weight because they understand what happened in slavery, and they put themselves in the African American people's shoes to feel the pain. And the only way you can feel the pain is to put yourself in their shoes. Otherwise, nobody gives a damn but a good hearted person that can see it. And when that happened to George Floyd on national television, where actually I recently found out that it was a guy, his dad was Nigerian, his mother was Caucasian, and he actually allowed that to happen. And I read where his sisters disowned him. I'm not sure if they were his biological sister or adopted sisters or whoever they were. They were black, and they disowned him for allowing a Caucasian guy in this day and time and watch him kill a black person, and he's straight up, his dad, Nigerian. That was the worst in those girls' eyes to them, and they even protested as well, and they're his sisters. So, but my thing with him is that he had only been on the force, I think, just a couple of days. And so here it is again, because of the fact that he was black, he felt that the white privilege officer probably would have turned him in for not aiding him in apprehending George Floyd. My thing is that there it goes again. It was this fear thing inside of him to stand up for what's right for his black fellow man because of what happened in slavery days, and he's still living back in the hands of time. However, when I read about him, they said that he went to join the police force in order to help better the world in the police force, better people, help people. Well, to me, what happened? So you have to think about it. It must be because of the fact that he was afraid to say something to the white police officer that was killing the black man, knowing he was black himself. You know, I mean, this stuff is really, really, really crazy. So all of this stuff and all of the black people would not be angry if people just stepped in and just come out and say it's not right. Why would anyone, white or black, want to pack a burden on your back knowing where all of the work, the cotton picking, and all of the lights being created, and all of the clothes being ironed, and, you know, kids being raised, and black women being raped, and anybody want to pack that as if it's right? That's nothing but devil. That's the devil. That's not of God. Because if I know that something happened to, say for instance, if something happened to a Caucasian person and we did something to them, or our ancestors did something to them, I couldn't walk around with my head up high. I couldn't walk around and feel like I'm superior over somebody through blood, sweat, and tears of another person. That is the lowest you can go. So if anybody wants to hide behind anything like that and not come out, and I applaud all of the Caucasian people that are actually tired of packing that burden, knowing that the slaves had been killed and hung and with nooses, and people are still trying to do that right now. They just don't want to do what's right. But when those ancestors keep putting out these signals from their graves, the same people that are racist will see those faces before they leave here. It's just no way that you can get by. No one. Me, and I'm black, whites, Chinese, or any other race will never get by with doing anything wrong on this earth, heaven and earth, right here, where we are today, that God created and think that they're going to get by. It's not going to happen. The reason is not because nobody created this heaven and earth but God. And he is in control. And he will let the angels of the devils chase you. And eventually they'll get you. They will get you if you don't do what's right in God's eyesight. Either you're going to let the angel of the devil chase you for doing wrong or upholding for wrong. Because how can anyone see that tape with George Floyd and still walk around here being racist? How? How? And the reason these little black young men are running around acting wild and crazy is because they've been taught about what happened to their ancestors. They have. So they have this bitter and hostility in them from what they have heard and how they feel like, oh, I know I'm not going to get a job because I'm black. I know I can't. If I go in there to apply for a job, they're going to look down on me because of my skin. So guess what they do? They go out and take what they want. It's not right. Doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right. And it's not right. But it's because they are the younger generations. The older generation have been able to endure the pain. And many, many African Americans, including myself, I feel the pain of what my great-grandparents went through. You could still feel that stuff. That stuff is deep embedded. And like I said, just like we feel the pain, they're going to come back, where they are coming back with their energies and bringing these forces together to stop racism. They really are. All that stuff we felt that they went through, being beat, raped, hung by a tree, drugged by a truck with a rope around your neck, not getting jobs, not getting good acting roles. Just like I saw on a clip with Viola Davis. Like she said, if you say that I'm a good black actress, why aren't you giving me the good black pay like you're giving the white pay? God created all men. If I qualify, pay me. Pay me. And black people have no control over being the best basketball stars, the best football stars, the best singers, dancers, dressers, hairstylists, artists, actresses. They had no control of that. That was because their ancestors were ripped and died for black people to have more energy and power. And that is why. That is why. Black people have no control over anything that they can do better than a Caucasian person. That was from God letting the ancestors pass the energies to make them strong to endure the pain that they paid for. They paid for our pain. They paid for it. And so it comes out when you see the best in black people. That's what you're getting. You're getting the strength from the slaves. And it's a little deep for other races to understand because of the fact that they're not black, so they don't feel that pain. The only way you will feel that pain is it happened to your ancestors. And I recall getting taught by my dad, like his dad was 104 when he passed. And so I recall my dad saying, oh yeah, we had to pick cotton, we had to do this, that, and that, and that, and that. And there was some good slave masters because if you worked hard, they give you the land. But really, they didn't give you anything. You had already worked for it for years and years and years and years. So it was yours by right. However, they always made you feel that they was giving it to you. And also, I'm tapped into an ancestor. If you look up Lewis Latimer, it says that Lewis Latimer invented the substance to a light bulb. He's the one. But Who got the credit? Read about it. But it was him, the black man. So the black people always did all the work, and the Caucasian people always got all the credit. So why be prejudiced against a black person because of their strength? God did that because of how they were mistreated through slavery. So he said, okay, if you guys going to mistreat the slaves, the people that's going to come up from the slaves are going to be strong, and they're going to be better in everything that they do. Everything that they do. And so a lot of this stuff in this racism, I think, is intimidation because of the power that God had put into the African American people, that they had nothing to do with it. And even still, African American people were not taught to be racist because in our families, we have all colors. I'm not a racist. Why would someone be a racist against me? I didn't do anything I didn't make their people slaves. They did that to me. So why be racist against me and you've already killed and hurt my people? That's a double stab in the back, the neck, the butt, the throat, the eye. Unbelievable. So I applaud the wonderful white people for coming out and stepping up to the plate and feeling the pain of what, well, actually, you can't feel it, but when you saw it with the George Floyd and when you saw what was going on, you actually saw it, because most times people take up for their own race, you know? They take up for their own race. Oh, they're not doing all that. These black people are just saying this, that, and the other. But when you actually see it for yourself and you put yourself in that position, then that was meant to happen through the ancestors, and the slaves made that possible through God for George Floyd to be on national television getting a lynching through his neck by a white police officer with his knee in his neck. That didn't just happen just because the white guy did that with his knee. That happened because God and the ancestors' prayers to God allowed it to happen at that moment in time. And for that 17-year-old girl not to be afraid because the officer was white and she was a new millennial and she didn't give a damn. She filmed it, and she don't even know why she did it either. It's deeper than I could be talking a little deep on this because it's deeper than what your eyes can see. It came from the slaves through God. They're there with God. And so it came from that. They picked the right time. God said, okay, we're going to find one person, and he's going to be big and tall and black. And he's going to be someone that nobody expected to make history. See, when God let his ancestors start working, and all these slaves and all these people let our ancestors start working, all these people that's been raped and killed and hung and castrated, and when he allowed them to make their move, it's a move so smooth, so cool, that you would not even know where it came from. Because did you see the protests with people all over the world? Berlin, Germany, London, just everywhere, all over the United States, just everywhere. Other countries, just, oh my gosh. Who do you think it was that made that happen? That was our ancestors and the people, the slaves. That was the slaves. They're not here physically, but they're not going nowhere mentally because God has allowed their energies to come through us. He has allowed that. And that's what's going on. And I think Caucasian people are getting it now and they're understanding it. And the real people, they're not gonna just keep trying to overrule God, because they know it's not going to happen. And this world seems like it's coming to an end, because it's got to get right. Either it's going to get right, or God's going to let the slaves and their energies come in and wipe out all the racism. And only the strong will survive, and the strong will be the people that are not racist. And, me being Black, I know the reason a lot of Black people are racist, because the first time, if you're walking and you see a white person and they can't look you in the eye or something, then the first thing a Black person is going to say, that's a racist, because they can't even look me in the eye, because they feel guilty for something that they did that we didn't do. That's just how Black people feel about it. And they can even have white in their family. But if they meet one white person that can't look them in the eye, immediately they'll say that's a racist, because why not look me in the eye if you didn't do nothing wrong? Why not be nice to me like I am to you? I didn't do anything to your ancestors. You did it to mine, and you still can't look me in the eye when I'm trying to be nice? That's what makes Black people racist, because the majority of us are not. That's why we have all kind of beautiful mixed children. We were taught love, Love, not color, because we wasn't brought up like, looking at race. I mean, we're in rainbow colors, and our parents taught us to love one another, no matter what color you are. And they had to explain to us why some was light and some was dark. It's because the slave masters had raped the Black women and had babies, while they were hanging the Black men and castrating them and beating them and making them work in the fields. Do people get it? Black people feel that pain. That pain is a pain that you can never, ever get over. And so that's why it's all the protests, and that's why all the Black kids are crazy, because they didn't get all the privileges that the white kids get, and even to this day, they still don't. Even though Dr. Martin Luther King fought for this, that, and the other, it's still going on even now after George Floyd. You see lynchings. I heard in Oakland on the lake, it was dummy bodies hanging from trees. And I mean, the devil is a liar. He just don't want to let go. But if I was him, I would, because when these slaves come up out here and start shooting these vibes out all over the world, taking people's minds from them and just really, really making the world horrible until they get it right, it's got to get right. Let's stop all of this stuff and get it right. Let's get it right. And so, like I said, I applaud all of the white people that are understanding now what had really been going on. And the majority of them have now, a lot of them, kids are Black. And the other races couldn't stop that. You can't stop love. If two people get together and have a Black baby, how are you going to stop that? There it goes again. From the slaves, all of this stuff is happening from the slaves sending out signals, and God is allowing it to happen. It's through God. He's letting those people that were harmed and damaged who shed blood, sweat, and tears for African American people and brown people. That's what's going on, you guys. It's deeper than the eyes can see, and I can go real, real deep about it, but I don't want to scare people. The slaves are speaking up, and they're coming out, and it's unexpected, and nobody realized what's really going on, but that's what's happening, and God is allowing it because time is out. And they're not done. The slaves are not done shooting out antennas into the world and making all this stuff happen, because they got mistreated, and we feel it. we felt the pain. And if you look at those old movies, you could see it. And if any devil want to see something like that and think it's okay, let somebody do it to your child. Let somebody do it to your husband. And then you'll realize the feeling, the pain. I'm going to end my show and leave it on a good note. And I love everyone, but I'm just telling you, the slaves are angry and they're coming up from their grave. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.